Everybody, here we fucking go. The winter 2025 anime season is over, and that of course means there's only one thing to do, and that's talk about the best show of the season. The series that is setting the bar for the rest of the year. The series that had us most enthralled with its characters, its story, its animation. The series that in December we're gonna immediately think back on and be like, that's in the conversation for anime of the fucking year. And you know what that show is this time around? Medalist. What? Y'all thought I was gonna talk about something else? Don't know why you would. So weird. Oh well, anyways. So, Medalist is my favorite anime of the winter 2025 season. I do genuinely believe it had the best characters, it had the most compelling stories, and also the CGI animation, once you get used to it, we'll talk about that a little bit, genuinely I think pushed CGI animation in anime forward in a way that I really want to see where it goes from here. So yeah, that fits the criteria. This was the best anime, but we still got time. So let's explain what really makes this anime great. Because unfortunately, it was not watched as much as Sakamoto Days, or Solo Leveling, or ReZero. So let's change that, shall we? So, first up, we should get into the premise. Medalist has a fairly straightforward sports anime premise. We follow Inori Yuitsuka, a 11-year-old girl who is in love with ice skating. She has been ever since she was little, watching her sister do an excellent job at it, and she has always dreamed of getting into the hobby herself and pursuing it and one day making it to the Olympics. There's just a couple of problems. The first issue is that Inori is very shy. She's very awkward in front of other people. The show does an excellent job of depicting that she has a lot of trouble communicating with kids her own age. She has a lot of trouble making friends, fitting into the group. And part of the reason she loves figure skating so much is that it allows her to express herself. It allows for her to show herself off as strong, as confident, as creative. The other issue, though, is that, and I did not know this going into this, because I know jack shit about most sports, but I know even less than jack shit about kids figure skating. So, the thing you learn is that kids start this fucking sport at age 6. That's right, kids are barely out of diapers. And they're on the ice skating rink doing triple axels and all this other stuff that I had trouble remembering because they all got weird names that I'm not going to care about. So yeah, this kid, she is way too freaking late into the game. She has enough trouble communicating with people as is. So what's a girl to do? Well, a girl, through a fairly convenient twist of fate, meets Coach Tsukasa, the new guy in town, the new assistant coach at the local ice skating rink, a failed figure skater himself, also coming from a background of having gotten into the sport too late by the modern standard. And from there, through some naturally just wacky shenanigans, Inori and Tsukasa end up coming to an agreement. Tsukasa will be Inori's coach as she attempts to catch up with the other girls her own age to be able to compete and become the strongest, especially so that way she can face off against her new formed rival Hikaru. And yeah, this series may sound like a very simple, straightforward sports anime. Hell, you even do see a lot of those concepts make their way into other sports anime. What I think separates this series apart is the way it depicts children. Now, children in media, in my general just history of consuming media, tend to fall into one of two camps. They are meant to be annoying, so that way you will laugh at how much they irritate people. Or they're what I like to call the Full House principle. They're oh so precious and cute and adorable, and they say their cute little one-liners with their cute big smiles, and they're just there to just make you feel so squishy for them. I fucking hate it. I hate it so much. And the reason for that is I have a love for stories that depict kids as kids. Rather, it's something very slice of lifey, like The Sandlot, something very meant to be historical and period, like To Kill a Mockingbird, or even something that turns into a big crazy sci-fi epic like Stranger Things. I am always fascinated by the idea of a story that knows how to write children in a way that makes them feel important, that makes their arcs feel unique, and that knows how to depict how they view the world and what they go through in it as important. Because yes, I am a grown man who has gone through more things in his adult life than your average 9-year-old, typically. But when I'm watching a story about a child, I am supposed to not care about what I've gone through and not even necessarily how that relates to this kid. I'm supposed to care about what the kid is going through. And me being able to relate to the child should be a narrative tool used to get me to care. This, I think, a mistake a lot of media makes nowadays. Looking at you, people who hated Turning Red because you said you couldn't relate to a 13-year-old Asian girl. Yeah, so this is, in my opinion, the key to Medalist's success. The way the show treats Inori is that she is not just a cute kid. Inori is someone who is lost. She is someone who has no real place for herself. And like I said, she finds it in figure skating. And the series always treats this like it's important. That even if to someone like me who does not care about sports, I can understand why this matters so much to Inori. And it's not just her. Every other kid in this show is always depicted with that same level of reverence. Every kid we meet in this is going through their own shit. Nothing is ever super complicated. There's no, like, sad backstories. Well, there might be one or two, depending on where the stories go. There's never any, like, overly complicated drama. It's just kids being kids, going through what you go through when you have such an intense, serious hobby. And I think that dedication to the earnestness of that, I think, is really what makes this show special. That's not the only things that makes it special, though. For starters, this show is insanely fucking funny. Just because it wants to treat Inori more than just a cute little kid does not mean they don't take advantage of just how annoyingly fucking adorable she can be. This character is very funny. You don't need to look much harder than all the just great videos of her meme faces on YouTube in order to see just how great this character is. Coach Tsukasa is also a lot of fun, acting as this fairly, like, straight man to just a lot of this kid's weirdness, which comes through quite a bit. And the other kids are also all entertaining. Special shout out to Mittens. Love this fucking little brat. She's great. But also, like, we should probably talk about the animation. So, for the most part, the 2D segments of this show look good. There's a lot of, like, great facial work going on. There is a lot of creative work with how it shows people at their lowest, at their highest. The show has definitely much of a very standard look to it, but it knows how to use it in ways that are creative. The big thing everyone obsessed over was the CGI. Yeah, many people didn't know what to think when they saw that the manga's iconic ice dancing scenes would be depicted in CGI animation. But if I'm the guy who's going to give Sakamoto Days a break, I also got to be very honest about what I thought here. And at first, I thought they did look a little weird. I think what it is for starters, I fucking hate VTubers and just the whole weird way the 3D models look. And I don't know why, something about the look at first of the CG models here kind of reminded me of that. I think at least with Inori and Hikaru, they are drawn with very thin noodle limbs, and they have long necks and big heads. In particular, Hikaru's forehead could have a plane land on it. And I feel like they kind of maybe like give the 3D models this awkwardness, especially as you see other characters' 3D models that I think look a lot more natural. I assume the reason those two have these like proportions and things like that is so that way the images of them doing their dances and poses can feel much more expressive and have a lot more room to just be taken in. That's the same reason why it's something like Code Geass, everyone has the noodle arms and the Jack Skellington bodies. It is with purpose, and there is a reason for it. But because of that, it can hurt the CG. That being said, I feel like the CG gets better in every episode. I mean, in particular, everyone was talking about Hikaru's big ice state dancing scene. But it does go from there too. Inori's get a lot more good, actually, as the more elaborate they get. To the point where by the end, I was like, fuck it, I'm in. I want to see where we go from here. I want to see how we push this medium. 3D animation needs to stop being treated like a crutch and be used as a tool. Beastars gets it right, as well as everything by Studio Orange, and I think we need more anime like this that are willing to experiment with the technology and use it to its full advantage. Now, as far as issues with this show goes, I think my biggest is Inori at the beginning is almost a little Spider-Man-like in some of her abilities. Like, I think, like, in the first episode, you see her, like, do Tony Hawk shit, like, to run away from Tsukasa, like, down, like, a ramp or something. And then she's, like, on a fire escape, like, 30 feet in the air. How the hell did that happen? And it does sort of create kind of an issue because since she is so behind, she should have a lot more trouble than she does nailing some of the more complicated stuff she does at the beginning. The series takes place over the span of about a year, so you could make the argument there is a lot of time for her to learn, but I kind of felt like we breezed through a lot of the stuff that could have made that feel a little bit more real. This goes to a lot of her character development outside ice skating as well. I wanted more scenes of her, like, in her day-to-day life, more scenes at her school, just more moments where you get to see that payoff of her improving and being much better at the things in her regular life. We got hints to this, and they say it, but I wanted to see it. But again, that being said, like I said, great character, all in all, really good show, really great animation. Other little things, maybe some other characters could have gotten some focus, but season 2 is confirmed. And so you better go watch this when season 2 comes out. This is a genuinely great show that kind of fits a niche for me that unfortunately doesn't get what I think it deserves. And for me, that makes this anime of the season for me. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on Medalist. What did you like? What did you not like? If you didn't watch this, what did you like instead? And don't worry, we'll get to solo leveling next time.